spot at 20 yards. We're out on the farm. We got a northeast wind. It's like 60 degrees. It's getting down into the 40s at night. Yesterday, cold front came through, so yesterday and these next couple days. So, kicking it off. I don't even know what today is, the 7th? October 7th at the farm. And we got a special deer that we've been building a lot of history with, moose. So, we're gonna scurry into the stand. We're gonna sit Hickory Ridge tonight. Should be just about perfect. Got good access. But I wanna get in the stand, plenty of time. It's like 2:30, 2:40 right now. So we're up the bikes over to the stand. Got a little bit of a walk. I'm anxious, really anxious for this hunt. We've been putting a lot of work in for kind of one specific deer that we named a moose. He's a deer that we've had. I had him, a couple photos of him the very first year hunting this farm. Then had him last year after I bought it. And then this year, he kind of blew up. He went from a super heavy 8-point to just kind of a free nasty buck. Still a ton of mass. And he's been around Jake and I. We've been out west and just got back from a moose hunt. We were gone for out of service for 10 days. And you get back and you check all the mole trees and he was just all over the place. So I think that if we were here the first week of October, I think there was a really good chance because he was all over the place. But we're sitting in a spot I call Hickory Ridge that we actually burned this ridge in the springtime. I did a little bit of TSI on it and then put this stand, put a big water hole and a scrape post at the end of August. And he's been drinking from that water every few days. And he's been hitting that scrape every few days. And it's right in this core little area. Kind of past couple days especially, he's done a pretty good loop on the farm. He's hitting scrapes and doing the deal. So the anticipation's high because I think we got a really, really good chance at him tonight. Hunt number 2. We came in here today and put in this ground blind right on the edge of the corn. And then we got a big brassica plot, Rolling Hills plot that kind of just connects like your green to green sort of deal. pretty low odds, I feel like, if moose will show up tonight here. But he has been in this plot one time a couple days ago in the daylight. And just kind of like an observation, sort of sit. But we also could be right in the chips. You never know. Last night was fantastic. We never really got to talk about it because there was deer for the last hour of light all around us, but our little audible for a southeast wind worked really good. Saw a couple good bucks, a couple deer. But we're back on Hickory Ridge. Switched to north. It's dead north wind tonight. And guess who's been daylight the last 2 days where we currently are? Old Moose. He was well in the daylight last night on the water and the day before, which is great. He's still around. He's right here. It rained last night a lot, and Jake and I had quite a fiasco with the e-bikes getting in here. We're dripped in sweat. Jake broke his bike chain. I got a flat tire. It took twice as long to get over here. And the bikes are out of commission. So, we're thankful to be up in the stand. Quickly approaching halfway done with October already, but we are back in the Hickory tree stand. Gotta love little cedar trees. It's October 20th, everyone. Finally in the sweet spot of the entire year. But Moose, last night and this morning, did a big loop on the farm. He showed up on this trail this morning in the daylight like twice. He like went by and then came back by. And then I have another camera just north of here, and he went on that camera at like 8:30 in the morning. So I'm pretty certain he's up in here somewhere right now. And I just got back I was down in Louisiana at the Austin Chamberlain Foundation hunt, and he was on camera, of course, all the time, so it never fails to get out of town, and they do their rounds. So I still have a pretty good feeling about tonight and then the rest of this week up until November. Just kind of running every afternoon right now. We didn't see him last night, but last night in the dark he kind of did another big loop. He's on the farm, he's around. But we're running her a little risky tonight because he's been a little risky. We're sitting Destiny plot with a wind that if it stays true, it's really good. But every now and again we get a little too much north, which isn't awesome. But we moved the stand in the summertime. Destiny tree, this is the very first tree stand I ever hung on the farm. I busted out this food plot a little bit bigger to kind of hopefully swoop the deer in to make this a bigger hangout area for the deer pretty much. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move it to an oak tree about 60 yards over here.
Oh yeah, money.
And we had a lot of good encounters last year with Rookie, and Moose has been through here a couple times in October. Just hoping this wind stays true, because he's back right now. I think he's living in the big timber behind me, and our wind's just skirting it. And so a lot of deer die in marginal winds though, and I'm hoping he just doesn't get our wind. But I'm excited. We should see a decent amount of deer sitting on this clover plot. We got a rubbing post right at 30 yards that deer have been hammering. So it feels good to be in this stand. This might be my favorite stand on the whole farm. Sit number 6 for old Moosey. He's all over the cameras. He's living here. Got him again last night. And we're back up on Hickory because he actually was up on Hickory last night, and it was a coin toss if we were going to sit up here or not. And we decided not to, and sure enough, he showed up in the daylight. But it's getting pretty, the leaves are dropping a lot. It's getting pretty open. And the second I crested over this hill over here, I was like, gosh, you can see a lot on this ridge now. And we get down here and we bump 2 does out. And then we start climbing up the stand and we hear something blowing in front of us like 200 yards. And it sounded pretty like a deep deer. Like sometimes like deer just have different tones in how they blow, and it was like raspy. This part of me thinks that it was him bedded on the point of this ridge. We just blew him out. But it might not be. And that's what they keep telling me, so. But we got a northwest wind, really good for this spot. Anything with a little bit of north and it's fine. And I was thinking he was bedded right up here on this next ridge, which is where that deer was blowing. So might just blow him out for now. Holy smokes. If that doesn't get you going, I don't know what does. Moose went by. I heard something, and then Jake heard something, and then footsteps. And he came like down into this bottom. And my legs, I'm shaking so bad right now. He kind of came through this bottom, and he was at a 35, and I stopped him and drew back. And then Jake couldn't see him super well, and I really wasn't super confident. And luckily I didn't shoot because I let down and I looked through my binos, and there's a couple little branches, so it could have been bad. But he just ate acorns like forever. Went up, hit a scrape right here, and then down the 2-track. Shots, we're heading back in. I think the same spot, northwest wind, changing to north. Heck of an encounter with him last night. We've been exporting the video, but I watched it probably 20 different times. Hopefully he's back up there again. Warm today, might want to drink out of the water this afternoon. Easy peasy. I got a little bit better shooting there now. Because last night, Jake could see him for a longer time because he's out further to the right. But there's this branch here, but now I got a shot for another 20 yards of walking. Got a special day today. It's October 24th, which is in 2021 is when my good buddy Austin got killed in a car accident. And I'm wearing my Austin Chamberlain hat that I spray painted because it was white on the back and it'd be a little stealthy. But it's a special day for sure. It's like every year this day comes around and I always try to be in the woods because we shared a lot of hunts together, and he was definitely one of my close hunting buddies. And it's a good day for it. It's pretty cold. We got a east-southeast wind, and we got a lot to unpack here. But we're sitting in the ground blind that we sat like a week and a half ago. Corn, we got Rolling Hills brassicas, green to grain right here, perfect setup. And we're still after moose. He's been around. But he got in a lock-down, drag-out fight with a deer that we call Skid. We had him last year. We have him again this year. He's a mature, super old, super heavy, like, bully buck. And it's super funny because on the Moultries, like this morning, Skid went by and Moose went by like a minute after, and they keep tailing each other like on a couple different cameras the last 2 days. So they are butting heads like crazy, and they kind of share very, Moose is more over here and Skid's more over here, but they're starting to overlap the territory a little bit. I'm anxious. I'm like good anxious tonight because I know we're going to see some deer. Well, we sat Peg Oak this morning, and then we backed out of there because our wind was just so nasty. And we're back sitting in the corn blind. October 29. And guess who's back in town? Rookie. If you guys watched the video 6x4 last year, he was one of the most regular 4-year-olds on the farm. We had tons of encounters with him. And he showed up last year on October 27th. And this year he showed back up on October 27th, just like clockwork. Pretty awesome. He's been up in Sorghum Plot where we are right now 2 days ago, and then last night in the daylight along with Moose, and then overnight last night up here. So we got a stiff north wind. It's like 25 mile an hour constant. So we tucked in this blind that it's about 1 acre of sorghum that I planted, which is a new Rolling Hills mix that we're gonna do as a soil rebuilder, because the soil up here was absolute trash when we did soil samples. So I kind of took a year and just put the sorghum lab and soybean mix. And then what I did is in August, I came in here with the skid steer and mowed out this little area. It's only like 50 yards across, and put in brassicas. And the brassicas are doing okay, but what the deer are doing is they're poking in here and checking it for does the last couple days. Like you can tell that they just pop in, pop out. It's right on top of a ridge. So it was pouring down rain all day yesterday, and both Moose and Rookie were in here in the daylight. And of course, we were sitting in the office. But they're here and they're around, and there must be a hot doe up here or something. So we'll probably sit pretty late in the morning. Just kind of see what happens. But it's a little misty, super windy, straight out of the north. just saw Moose. He's about at 80 yards. And we just saw the tops of his antlers working through the sorghum. Right across, he stopped, munched on the grain a little bit, and he kind of it's probably a doe or something, but he kind of hop skipped to the right. And then we lost him. Moose just ran through the food plot at 20 yards. And we saw him for a total of 1 second, chasing a doe. And there was 3 other bucks. He's still right here. It's 12 o'clock, so we're getting out. Maybe we should stay, but we gotta do a couple photos, and I need a slice of Casey's pizza, so we're gonna get out of here. We're back in the blind. It's 2:30. It's still very windy, but we got straight out of the north still. So hopefully Moose is around after chasing that doe all around this morning. It makes it 3 encounters if we count both of the ones this morning. But really cool to see him, really cool to get that close. Him running by at full sprint at 20 yards was pretty sweet. Sorghum blind. Is today Halloween? Tomorrow's Halloween. He was all over cameras last night. So, Moose anyways, rookie's been MIA a little bit. But we feel like up on this ridge and the sorghum plot, he's been most frequent when I feel like he's searching for does. So it seems like he was kind of ripping around all last night. So we're gonna give this a late morning sit, and then we gotta move because it gets a little too much west in the wind for here. So we'll move to somewhere this afternoon. Took a little break midday again, got back in the stand. It's like 3 o'clock probably, and we moved over to the cedar that we sat a couple days ago. The wind just switched. It went from pretty much straight north to nearly straight west tonight, so just had to get out of sorghum and come over here. But this spot absolutely turns on when the rut starts going. It's just off of a bedding area in the cedars. And bucks just love cruising this little ridge right here, this little bench. Wind's just being a little swirly. It's almost like coming out of the east. But that's perfect right there. We just killed moose, brother. Let's go. Oh. Do you know what was so great about that? One, this is where I killed the very first deer on this property. It's right on this same trail. And I drew back. I was like, oh no, he's turning towards me. And I paused and I was like, that moment right there, I was like, this is what you live for. And I ran that through in my head. And I was like, please turn left. And he turned left.
That was legit.
Oh, thank you, Lord, man. What a chase. Just a absolute perfect job. Broadhead, arrow. Kind of tried to jib jive us, but we weren't having it. I was just telling Jake, because I said it last year, and you forget about these things. This trail, every buck on the farm hits it during the rut. There's this big cedar bedding thicket. If you get this northwest wind, they just circle downwind of it, just checking it, and that's all he was doing. 4:30 in the afternoon. Dude, look at that beam sticking up. Oh my gosh. What a warrior, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude, his mass is incredible. Of course, he dies in such a tough spot. Dude, this deer is huge. Let me drag him out of here. Dude, that is the most massive deer I may have ever shoot. Dude, just down here. Oh my goodness. Such a unique deer. Had him on camera when this place was a permission piece. Then last year, bought it and never saw him, but had him on camera a lot. And he was 4 or 5 last year, and he's 5 or 6 this year. I'm thinking more like 6. And he went from a clean 8 to just this freak nasty of a deer with, I could not fit my hands around his bases. This is like just your dreamy, nasty, freak heavy buck that you just always dream about. You only get so many chances at a deer like this. 4 encounters. What was it, October 15-ish? 21. Twice yesterday, and then today. It's so cool too, because this is the first deer that had the farm for a full year now. Just past a full year. Really be able to do a couple things on it and see how the deer reacts, see how the deer use it. We get so stressed out every season about these crazy critters. And it's just every year I tell myself to take every season as a gift and not as a chore and not as a stressor. And it's really easy to fall into that trap. I know I do. Every season I gotta remind myself. And then it's just moments like this. It's like, gosh, why was I so stressed out? Because this is such a gift to be able to chase these big critters, any critter. Spend time in the woods, friends, be able to, man. It is something special, guys. And I think we take it for granted so much, so often, thinking that we deserve this and we deserve big deer and things and materialistic things and things in life, and we don't. We do not deserve these. It is a gift and a privilege that we even get to do these things. And then when it comes together like this, I'm just an absolute giant. It's like, gosh, you know. Especially my dream, my 16-year-old self dream, to buy land and have a property and to shoot deer like this and to manage them and to do the full circle, trying to make these guys' lives as good as possible, to try to grow as big as deer as possible, is just incredible. And it's not even November yet. We're just getting good. Old moose. You almost become attached to them with trail cameras these days. And we've seen them so many times. R.I.P. Moose, legend of this farm.